Straight talk from Israel. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
And this is from Jerusalem with Love. Today is July 14, 2021, and we are here in Israel, the Holy Land, the holy land that God Almighty gave to the world, and Israel is its custodian. And Jerusalem is its capital. By the testimony of the Bible, the book of all books, the Old Testament that gave us, the Jewish people, the courage and faith to do God's work. First, we must recognize France on our Independence Day. Happy Bastille Day. Happy birthday, France. May we see you soon, well and healthy. But remembering that we are in the week of 9 of Av, where we mourn the destruction of the Holy Temple, and we feel the pain of the Jewish community in the diaspora and all around in this time of reconciliation, maybe, and we must reconcile our differences and recognize the holy city of Jerusalem as holy for all. More, we must recognize the great meeting that former Minister Lapid met with European Union, and it's a dear representative of Europe. It has been a long time since we came together, and from experience in Europe, we need some personal touch, nothing grand, but friendly interaction with basic understanding to the culture and respect for what we stand. All of us. Makes sense to me to focus on Europe more since she is so close, the play games, and we have many residents who come from this great continent, especially when this week Italy brought the European Cup to Italy. Congratulations. A symbol that the good sportsmanship is forever here, and with the start of the Tokyo Olympic, soon we must recognize the hard work and dedication of the world's sportsmen. That is for a global issue. There is so many things that we're going to talk about it. So I hope that you stay put. We'll be taking a break now, and we'll be back after this.
The return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel was prophesied in the Bible thousands of years ago and is coming true today. Shalom. Join me, Josh Wander, on Israel Unplugged. Listen in as we delve into the spiritual and physical aspects of the Jewish return to Zion. We'll discuss the biblically mandated, historic, and of course practical understandings of this incredible transition from exile to redemption. That's Israel Unplugged, every Monday on IsraelNewsTalkRadio.com.
And we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is from Jerusalem with Love. I want to welcome all our friends from around the globe, from United States of America, from Israel, from Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, Switzerland, Japan, Nigeria, Brazil, and Iran. Welcome to the show. I know the Iranians are listening. This is a good thing because we talk Turkey here. We tell you as it is, and our intention. We want all peace in the world, and we are so tired to have a fight between countries that once used to be friends. It's not that I intended to talk about Iran today, but for some reason, this fight been going on forever, and it seems like since the revolution, it changed, and for some reason we never got to the point to address it in a diplomatic way. And Iran is a very sensible people. They are very smart. They are very savvy. They have a lot to offer to the world if they only like to to negotiate. It's not like their way or the highway. It's everybody. It's the world consensus that we are looking for. So before I keep on going, I want to send a big hug to United Kingdom. You brought, the cup to you. You did an incredible game over there. It was incredible. Many people come. I know that the aftermath was completely not expected, but whatever it is, you did a great show, and thank you for that. We got entertained. People from all over the world will actually be seeing a good thing as sports. That's why I say that we need to raise up a little the spirit of the sportsmanship, because now that we have the Japanese Olympic in Tokyo, it's going to be an incredible challenge not to be sustained by so many spectacle, and the people there needs to come and see it, and the world is going to watch, and it maybe will be an awesome things to have some great panel to talk to the world, because the world will watch, and we need to talk about what's going on there and the feeling, and how the sports going on, and what we should expect. And of course there is the regular broadcasting, but I think that something, because there is the opportunity to talk to the world through in one unit through the TV, it will be incredible if we can just make a switch on it and communicate toward better understanding, and maybe in the next Olympic we'll be all together, God willing, talking and enjoying and actually celebrating, and it will be amazing anyway. It doesn't matter, They said that the sport need people, but the people that work so hard to get to the Olympic, I'm sure that they're concentrating to achieve the best they can, and there is no holding back. I heard some of them speak, and I know that they're going to be concentrate. So feel good. It's going to be okay. It's going to be good. The torch of the Olympic is still going. And it's amazing. And, it's amazing because I remember the torch of the Olympic when it passed through Savannah, going to Atlanta, and I ran into it. I was in Savannah, Georgia, and we were walking, and it ran by us, and I couldn't believe I saw the torch. And sure enough, they make the circle, and they ran to me again. I felt so lucky, you can't believe it. But it was exciting. It was really exciting. Anyway, let's talk what's going on here in Israel. We started the day with the women of the Kotel that are a fraction of the different kind of belief of Judaism, that it's a reformed Judaism. When they say reform, it means they took Judaism and they reform it. And trust me, the whole nice people, I know them from America. Most of them, there is like the branch that is in New York, that is Hasidic. They're very orthodoxy. But in the rest of America, California, you got South Carolina, of course, where it started all, they have a reform. Now, they're very, very, picky about their beliefs, so they get a little defensive. The problem is with being defensive, you become overreaching and a little abusive to the rest. Now, let's say it. We finally, the state of Israel designated an area which didn't pass at the end. And then I heard that in the night they created that site, with this new government that respects all stream of Judaism and faith, for that matter, and got them together to pray. And then there was some Orthodox that came around and they wanted to introduce their Orthodoxy to them. I don't understand why they were doing it, but the fact of the matter is there is a way to communicate. But to have the news starting in the morning with abusive of people that talk about the Orthodox Jews and how they dare and what they hate, and it was a little obnoxious kind of from the reform. And let me tell you something, okay? The world always understand that the United States of America is the big boy. It's Uncle Sam. He does everything and is strong and powerful and mighty and all. But sometimes when they send their people around, like me sometimes, of course, we become a little overbearing, entitled, and obnoxious. And we so know it all that we actually talk down to them like, you guys don't know what you're doing because we know better. And that's what create antagonism between, European, for example, and American. European have their way of being, and trust me, they are really, really kind and nice. Especially, I grew up in Italy. I know the diversity is different, and Italy, remembering that the Roman destroyed the temple, the second temple, but let's say that they didn't destroy the temple of God because there was the ark there. So maybe I give them something to get away with. However, the idea is when you are Reformed, you're coming to, let's assume Christian or Catholic, going to the Vatican, and I always take a Vatican as a sample and comparing it not to Judaism, because Judaism, the true faith from Abraham to Moses, where we got directly from the God. We are the people who carry the torch of God. Now, if you like it or not, it's your problem. But the question is how they come and dare to try to lecture us in our own, holy city. Now, the fact that they have a little space, that they dress up like men because they take the shawl of the men and all the apparatus that you pray with the men. I don't know if they have tzitzit. Somebody tells me if they're Reform carry tzitzit, women. But it's not something that you like to see, because it looks like you're changing our way of being. And there is nothing wrong with you doing whatever you want. It's okay. But try not to shove it in our face, because it's not that you are holding the title on the Judaism. And the fact that they want to, we have, moderate, center left-wing government right now, a mixed Arab-Israeli government that will give you everything in the book to be free and everything. That's good. It's go with Europe perfectly. But just remember, the fact of the tradition, the fact of the roots of us being in Israel is to the Jewish people. Now, you can be gold, but if you're not like pure gold, it's not pure gold. You cannot be pure Jewish when you are mixed marriages and you change. Now, I don't mind you doing that. It's your idea. But the fact of the matter, the torch of the Shekhinah, the torch of the holiness, come across when you keep the tradition. And everybody who can tell you, who save Shabbos, the feeling and the humble experience that you have. If you break Shabbat, that's when it goes away. It's like she walks away, the Shabbos. That's why they're all protective of it. This is like holiness. It's not something that you stick a sticker on you and say, I'm Jewish, and then you behave in Yom Kippur with all the piano and everything and the music, and you say, oh, God, you're listening to me in a church. It's not. You're confused. And your confusion confused a million Reform people that felt American, entitled, comfortable with the fact we don't really need to respect God. And now what are you finding? Anti-Semitism in the street. You know why anti-Semitism? Because you're mixed. You're in the middle. You're not. You didn't keep it all. So I have no problem with you losing. But when you come calling that anti-Semitism is rising, said they are not actually against the Jews. They're acting against you. So let's go to a break and we'll be back after this.
Hi, everyone. This is Andrea Simento from Jerusalem, inviting you to drop everything and join me on my show, Pull Up a Chair. We'll visit this week's quirky stories, meet fabulous guests, and discover my Israel. Together, we'll laugh, shout, and explain the topics that make us say, hey, we've got to talk about that. So get comfortable and pull up a chair with me, Andrea Simento, every Thursday on Israel News Talk Radio.
And we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is from Jerusalem with Love. So in time of mourning, people remember, this is a remembrance. It's the destruction of the temple. It's that time where you tear your clothes up because the temple of God is missing, because the temple of God is gone forever, and there is another religion who presume to be godly, and they don't let us in. And I'm saying to you guys all, the proof is in the pudding, New England. Proof is in pudding. The fact that we had Holy Temple where the presence of God was there, and we had that connection. Moses had that connection. The splitting of the sea was that connection. People cannot ignore us. I don't know any other religion who can come and pretend that they have this kind of godly. Of course, God keep everybody. There is no question about it. It's not like everybody's God children. Okay, let's start with this, and let's start with reminding everybody that in this time of grief, we need to make a lot of grace. And first grace is for Avat Chinam, for even though they call us our enemy, we have a problem in Lebanon. 80% of the population is starving. Now, I don't care if you think that they don't like us. I don't care. If the world see a good country, it's not like a lost country that, in some place in the world they are hungry, which there are so many, and you guys ignore them, of course, but in the middle of everything, where she can be actually anchor to the Arab world in the Middle East to start revolutionizing the technology, because they open mind to go, because they have this university there. They're not ignorant people. Instead of sending them immediately, not through the government, through the NGO, because we assume that the government took the money and gave it to Hezbollah like they do. Hezbollah is there. And it's all, again, your fault, the fact that you let the terrorist organization run for parliament and join the forces and destroy a country. Here is your example. Now, you did it with Hamas. Hamas is, again, they went and they got elected. They destroy Gaza and whatever we left there. Trust me, we left there a lot of stuff that they could have. Agriculture, we work so hard to make a fruitful life there. And when the Jewish settlers, they call it settlers, but pioneers, they left everything. But no, they go and destroy everything. God forbid. I don't understand why they like destruction. So if they go to destroy one by one and destroy Lebanon, how many times Lebanon had to go to war? Because Iran Iran, you baby, you need to get your, foot off Lebanon, because the big guys are gonna come to play now, and the big guys, of course, France is a part of it. Because she's like a kind of responsible for that area. And also you got the Saudis, that Hariri, which the father got killed by Hezbollah, and they didn't get the punishment that they deserved. But Hariri was the guy that actually asked Israel to get out of Lebanon on CNN. And I remember that I came to to see it on TV, and I asked our government, please, that's what he's asking. He's asking to us to comply. And immediately, after so many years, 18 years or 20 years of in Lebanon, they were so happy that it started. And it was also only because Hariri was asking. He asked. Just sometimes you have to ask. You don't have to fight. Don't kill everybody before you want. What do you want? Tell us, what do you want? Sometimes people come and ask for help, and the people come and help them out, and then they stay to monitor, to safeguard, or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, it was simple. 1996, Hariri was on TV. In America, I think that it was the press court, and he asked, I would like America to ask Israel to leave, to commit themselves to 245, I think, of the United Nations resolution, which asked them to get out. And sure enough, the ball was starting. I started, writing like I always used to do, from America, because when you have the resources and when you have the time, you do everything in your power to better the world. And sure enough, the voice got in Israel. Israeli decided that they want, and there was a change in the government. And I was so mad because they didn't come to agreement with Lebanon, because in 2000 we needed to have a signed agreement that we are agreeing a ceasefire and some kind of communication, because there is no reason that Lebanese, that they are the people that have the cedars, that the temple was built with them. They were friends of King Solomon, and they shouldn't be a friendly communicator or commerce-wise. There is no reason. There is no reason in that world for them to be enemy. I don't understand, but if it's Iranian problem, of course. But Iran, what do you want with Israel? They are trying to mess with our God again. If you think that God brought us back after 2,000 years in the diaspora because we got punished, not because you guys, there wasn't any, Muslim then when we got kicked from the land. We were not cooperating, I guess. The people then of Israel were not so eloquent, I guess, to the needs of God, and maybe they were too easy with God's presence, and that's the way you got punished. So after that, you think that God bring us to the land to what? For you guys to destroy it? Think again. I'm telling you, you better watch it for that. And it's not that we said to the Americans that we're not gonna surprise anybody. When we surprise, we surprise. We don't mention anything to anybody. And, we take it like we took it in Iraq. 1981, we bombed the Iraqi nuclear facility because it was threatening us. And that's what happened then. But Iran, probably, I know that you think that you can do it, but you have enough problem running it yourself. You're not that capable anyway. So that's for that. However, let's go back. When God gave Moses the tablet, he said, because he decided to be our God, and God decided that Moses will be our lead man, and that's it. Now, we have lead men here in Israel right now. They're talking that there is the revival and there is a prophecy all over. People are feeling it. There is a change. It doesn't matter. They get closer to God. closer you get to God, the closer you hear God's voice. The closer you preserve God's holiness, the holiest it's become. The holiest it become, it's penetrate people's hearts, and people can see it. So the corona came back, and we say, well, we didn't come close enough to God, because when you get protection from God, you want, but maybe, it's also that time when punishment is in stake. We don't know. So we just pray to do the right thing and hope that God will give us the opportunity to serve with His holiness inside. So we do that. However, the fact of the matter that Jerusalem is still in question is bothering me, and it's bothering me not because I have a house there. I don't even have. I have property in the one that they contest the area, that we bought in a community with a kind of organization. But the fact of the matter, I cannot own it because they decided that they're fighting for it. But the fact of the matter is, Jerusalem needs to be the center for all embassies, and I called it last week, move your embassy back. And the fact that they opened yesterday the embassy of the United Emirates in Tel Aviv, it's ridiculous. Okay, because if you accept friendship and you don't accept my capital, what kind of friend are you? And I told it to other friends that asked me for favor for their state. And I said, if you don't accept my God, God of Israel, that gave us the holy city of Jerusalem, and there is Temple Mount, we'll talk about that later, what are we going to do? I'm just supposed to pretend to let you be all over here, enjoying my fruits and hard work, and you guys just ignore us? Well, that's what politicians, the whole world, afraid to stand the ground. And that's where we're going to start ignoring them. And we're going to ignore the ministry, we're going to ignore the presidency. We're ignoring them because they are not strong enough, as far as we are concerned, to be our leaders. We want to have a leader that is frank, strong, and God-worthy to serve us and to serve us well before God Almighty and before the world. So let's get to the break, and we're going to talk about much more after this. Thank you.
Are you interested in transforming your life, drawing closer to the Creator, and uncovering the deeper meanings and hidden treasures in the Hebrew Bible?
Then join me, Rav Yitzhak Michelson,
And me, William Hall,
on the Science of Kabbalah, where we are seeking to narrow the gap between what we understand of our physical and spiritual worlds. So make sure to tune in every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Israel time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on Israel News Talk Radio.
Hello, I am Walter Bingham. If you want to hear the news behind the news and the true perspective on world affairs, then the Walter Bingham File is the program for you. We bring you interviews with the movers and shakers, political commentaries, and on-the-spot reports of events as they happen. All here every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Israel time, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And it's all archived on our website. Make it a date.
And we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is From Jerusalem with Love. So I want to ask you all a question. Did you give your dog some water today? Because for some reason people think that the dogs don't get thirsty. And it's something that, it's bothering me, because I need to say it to all lover of animals. Animal needs water. And you should have a supply for the animals wherever you are. And, they give you happiness. They give you work. They work for you. Please, please take care of the animal. They don't have a voice to talk. They can get angry. They can get dehydrated, and then they die. And why? Why? You know, people don't realize it, but sometimes it's so close they don't, you know, under the nose, and they're completely ignoring them, and changing on how much the world ignore when it's suitable to them. We have in Bangladesh like a million people from the Rohingya refugee from Myanmar that, you know, settled there, and Bangladesh, you know how poor it is. And they trying to transfer them to a city. It was a few weeks ago already. I'm so sorry I delayed in telling you that. But Bangladesh is a very poor country who cannot, you know, gracefully accept a million refugees on their, you know, on behalf of the world. So let's talk Turkey, okay? Let's say it. You guys in the United Nations, why you exist, why you're there, what do you do? And first of all, why the United Nations is in New York City? Why? To look at the Twin Tower and then somebody will come and bomb it like it happened? Because you are actually an attraction to nothing. It's an ugly building because it's ugly. I saw it from outside and I wasn't impressed at all. I was invited inside for lunch and I skipped it for other reason. But the fact of the matter is, guys, that building is ugly. And not this, it's center of the world, and you know, it's like to be in Beverly Hills and, you know, sit on the deck near the pool and sip margaritas and talk about the world. Yippee-yay! What, you guys are nuts? No, the world is really so corrupt that you even facilitate this? Because to facilitate the world organization to support, first of all, let's talk that there is no World Trade Organization, because it's really ridiculous. When they destroyed the World Trade building, I was saying, guys, we need to build it again because there is none. The World Trade Organization trying, but never did a good job. You see, because they're not diplomats. They are politician undercover with agenda, or they're messenger of somebody who wants to do their agenda. They're messenger of their politician that have no clue in the global scale, okay? Because let's say it, you know, people think that they're all high and mighty. They don't even understand other culture. They don't talk the other languages. Then in America, you got a building, ugly, okay, that is in the United Nations that has 194 nations. That inside, I never see one party that work well, and there is no resolution, you know, 1 month's resolution and get the godly people of Israel, the Jewish people. You negate us, you negate our God, you negate, it's okay because most of you are Arab, and this is a kahooting of Arab. So for me, America, I know how stupid you are. I actually lost in one debate because I defended you guys that we couldn't close the United Nations. I was in a debate in the Senate and somebody screamed to me, you know, should we close the United Nations? I said no. And they booed me, and I lost it because of you, because I wanted to make sense and say it's not our two, it's the world. But they weren't there to listen afterwards. But it happens. But the idea is why you're in America. Why America needs you there. What kind of facility or facilitation? Do you think that the American government cannot travel overseas, or maybe they are reluctant? It's more accommodating to be in New York City, near the Wall Street, that you can run your show with the money, that you actually, most of the country are corrupt. So right now, in this moment in time, most of the politicians are corrupt. We have an example today. We have a former member of Knesset. We don't mention her name. She's Russian. She just got convicted with 10 years in jail for laundering money. We're talking about $1 billion or stuff like this. It's like what you guys are thinking. Now, you think that you sit there, you launder the economy of the world, and you take it to the 2%. And the facilitator, the Wall Street and everything, the big guys are all working together. So give us a break. Don't call yourself United Nation. You are United Non-Nations because you don't represent the nation of the world. Because if the world is in shambles, and let's not start talking about the World Health Organization that let China get away with that and engineer virus that it's a biological weapon that they spread around again. Let's spread a little Delta or whatever version they have now. So, let's spread it in India because the Indian were forceful to the border. So, Chinese come around with somebody or engineer it in America or in Canada, and they come and spread it around. And we don't call it as it is as bioterrorism. Okay, it's not, right? If it's engineered, it's bioterrorism. And we all suffered through this. This is World War. And China is is the culprit. You can like it or not. This is the truth of the matter. And you know what's worse? That the Communist Party is starting to marching in. Now they're marching in. They're asking me, think. If somebody is asking me where the Communist Party in Israel, everything has to stop, because you guys have to understand, because communism is not a way of the world to live. Okay, we already been through that, and I wish that you guys can recall all those newcomers or stupid people who thinks that it can change the way we live with that kind of format. It didn't work. It never worked. Communist is only for a few that want to abuse the rest. It's only give a title. And they are talking on the radio, when is socialism become so dirty words? No, it's not the dirty words. It's a launder world to be communist undercover. They call it socialism, to introduce your idea. Then they take the abuse, bringing everybody to slavery again. Guys, in China, there are a lot of slaves. You know that. Look at the picture well and think what you want to do. Europe, you got a lot of immigrants who wants to have a good life there. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Start filtering in. United Kingdom, I don't know. You guys have to make a decision what to do. It's your business. You've been running the show for so many years all over the world. I'm not the one who even want to give an advice. Even though that if you want some holiness, come to me. I'll be happy to introduce you to our holy city of Jerusalem. The only thing is, when we are in poverty all over the world, when the rich are only a few, there is not rich anymore. It's not the rich, like you said, there is the successful one. They're not successful. It's all globalized people that accumulate wealth on the behalf of the working man. Now, then they call it capitalism. Now reverse it, and it's a communism because it's the same format. It's the extreme of both ways. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but think about it. If at the end result it's the same, what's make a difference? They live in lavish, and the people are poor, in underwage. They cannot finish. And Israel is an example to people who got abused for so many years by all the world. People who invest all their life and all their good sense and all the common understanding and the wealth and everything to the system. And then there is one capital guy who decided they can take it away And you know what? I'm example as one like somebody else, working hard for you all for 20 some years in one day the bank. So you're beautiful, right? It's a cahooting of the good guys that take the hard working of the working men, and you call it as you wish. It's thievery, it's greedy, it's not something. So if you don't fix your way, God will make it fixed. And if you think you can come and ruin our life with some kind of coronavirus or anything, it will be all up to God. And if I dare you to challenge the God of Israel, because I know that God of Israel is here to stay forever. We are coming and going. So next time we'll talk some more. God bless you all. I love you. Be good, and easy fasting for all my morning. And may we build the Bet HaMikdash next year, God willing. God bless you all. Ciao, ciao.
If you love Israel News Talk Radio, then you'll love our Facebook page. We keep you up to date on what's happening in Israel, plus little surprise treasures that we don't share on the radio. Go now to follow us on Facebook. Just look for the Israel News Talk Radio Facebook page, and don't forget to subscribe and follow us by clicking on the like button. We post great stuff there that you'll want to share. Israel News Talk Radio on Facebook and Israel News Radio on Twitter.
If you're hearing this message, everyone else can too. Advertise with Israel News Talk Radio and get your message out to people. We'll build a personalized package for you. Contact advertising at israelnewstalkradio.com.
Straight talk from Israel. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
Hey, this is Jake in Anchorage, Alaska, and I love listening to all the super interesting interviews and up-to-date information on what's happening in Israel.
Hello, this is Anna King, originally from London, now living in Israel. And what can I say? Israel News Talk Radio is my cup of tea.
My name is Bhaskar. I'm from India, and I love listening because you get to know the truth and wonderful voices from this lovely country.
Mom!
Okay, wait a minute.
Hi, this is Chava Dax, and I'm calling for the rolling hills of Ma'ale Adumim, just north of Jerusalem. I always listen to Israel News Talk Radio to get all the latest news and commentary and to keep me up to date every day.
This is Sarah Dax from Ma'ale Adumim, and I'm 12. I wish Israel News Talk Radio was boring so my mom wouldn't listen to it all the time. Mom!
You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
News, opinion, and more. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.